Good morning, everybody. My name is Kelly. I'm an educator here at Green Bay Botanical Garden, and welcome to our Butterflies in Blooms exhibit. We are here to take a live virtual tour through the butterfly house so you know what to expect when you come to visit. And we do have a few extra rules this year. We do want to make sure that everybody is staying safe in the butterfly house. So we have a limited capacity. So we're asking everybody to sign up for a time slot ahead of time. You can go to our website to reserve your spot. You can also call to the desk and they'll help you get signed up as well. And then remember, it is a little bit of a walk from the visitor center down to the butterfly house. So do give yourself 15 minutes, maybe a half an hour, so that you can be here lined up, ready to go when your time spot comes up. And we've got kind of an interesting entry system here. We've got two double doors that you're going to be walking through once you arrive. And that's just to keep outside critters from getting into the butterfly house that might maybe eat or predatorize or try and disturb the butterflies in the house. But it also keeps the butterflies from getting out and getting into our natural environment. These guys have all been raised in butterfly farms in other states, so we really do have to keep them in the house so they don't disturb our native populations. So once you're down here, the staff will open the door for you and give you some of those rules. Come on in. Awesome. So once we get into this first vestibule, we're just going to double check, make sure you don't have any spiders or bugs hitchhiking on your body. There's nothing else flying around that might get into the butterfly house. And from there, then the staff will be able to let you in. Now, it's important that you watch your step as you're going through the butterfly house, because some of those butterflies like to land on the ground and they really blend in well with the gravel. So watch your step. And also, we ask that you please don't touch the butterflies. The butterflies have tiny little scales on their wings, and if you touch them and rub those off, it really can damage their wings and make it hard for them to fly. We'll show you some other fun ways you can interact with the butterflies once you get inside.
All right, so I'm going to let you guys in, but I'll have you come just a little bit closer so that way we can try to go through quickly, because we really don't want the butterflies to fly into this entryway. And when it is warm, like it is today, they are really happy to be flying around. So I'm about to open the door.
Oh, there's two of them there. I didn't even see that white one. Now, the great part about the butterfly house is they are free flying. They're going to be flying all around you. They may even land on you at some point. We do ask, if you do have a butterfly land on you, please leave it where it is. Enjoy it where it is. If you want it removed, ask the staff person to be able to help you out rather than trying to grab it yourselves. And I'm going to turn it over to Lily, one of our butterfly house staff this summer, and she's going to fill you in on a few ways that we can interact with these beautiful creatures.
Yeah, so I am Lily. I'm one of the interns here this summer, and I'm just going to show you some of the parts of the butterfly house so that way when you come in, you know everything to look for. So obviously we have a bunch of gorgeous plants around here. They're going to keep growing throughout the summer. A lot of them are very tropical plants because we do have some non-native species here right now. We have some species coming from breeders in Florida and Texas, and those species live in kind of the southern United States, Central America, the warmer parts of South America. So that's why we have all these beautiful tropical plants in here. So definitely look at those in addition to looking at the butterflies, because there's some really nice flowers in here. One of the other things we have is this little kind of discovery station. There are some laminated sheets that you can take with you to walk around the butterfly house, see what butterflies might be in here. These sheets are not quite everything, because they are mostly the native species, but we have this board here that will show you everything that is currently flying. The other sheets might include butterflies that are coming later in the summer, but this board will always include every species that is here today if you want to check that out. And you can also ask the staff members what a certain species is if you have a question about that. The other area that I want to show you, before we get to feeding, which is the most exciting part, is we have some chrysalises over here. This is actually how we ship the butterflies in. They'd be very hard to transport when they are flying around, but they can be transported easily when they are in the chrysalis form, and that also allows us to bring species in that aren't native to Wisconsin, travel a little bit farther, and travel safe in this chrysalis form. So now I can show you, I think, what most people come to the butterfly house for, which is feeding. So I'll have us walk around this way. The table that I showed you earlier is where all the feeding sticks are. And everyone is wrapped individually in plastic. They're very clean. We've got a couple different options for you once you come in here. One of the bowls, you look around for these orange bowls. This one has just sugar water in it, which you can also have at your own home. You can put sponges out with sugar water, and there's even some butterflies landing on here right away. So this is a great idea for your own homes, but you can walk around and look for butterflies. I'm going to try to get some. They don't always come on, but I'm going to look for some species that I know are pretty good about climbing on. So I'm going to try this guy right here. This is a Buckeye. And that guy actually climbed right on pretty quickly. So what I did is I very gently put the sponge right in front of this butterfly. They can actually taste with their feet. So you want to gently be touching their feet with the sponge. The sponge is the most important part. You don't want to touch it with your finger. With the sponge that's covered in the sugar water is what they're really attracted to and what will get them to climb on. I know some people just kind of walk around with their sponge. They want to wait for a butterfly to land, but you do have to kind of go a little bit closer to them. So if you are bringing little kids here, you might want to help them out. So some kids are very good at it and very patient. Now I'm going to set this butterfly down so I can try to get a different one. A lot of times when you are setting a butterfly down, which you often have to do if your time is up and you need to leave, is going to the flowers is a really good option. And that guy came right off. So sometimes people try to set butterflies down on leaves and they don't leave as quickly. I think Kelle has a really beautiful one over here. She has one of the black swallowtails. And I think based on your sponge, you probably got some fruit on there, right? Yeah, so the other bowls that we have around are filled with fruit. It's really ripe fruit, like bananas that are getting overripe, or oranges a lot of times we have. And it's really that high sugar content of the really, really ripe fruit that will attract the butterflies. You don't want to put out a green banana for the butterflies. If you're trying this at your own home, you really want to be putting out that highly ripe fruit to try to attract them.
So Lily, as far as fruit's concerned, is any fruit okay, or is it mainly kind of like bananas, oranges, that kind of fruit?
I would definitely go for bananas and oranges if you have them. Bananas seem to work really well, especially, but if you have kids at home, it would be a fun science experiment to try different fruits and see what works, if one seems to be working better than the others. And just whatever you have around that is getting overripe and maybe at the stage where you don't want to eat it, the butterflies might actually really like that. And now I think what I'm going to do is show you a couple species that maybe don't want to climb on as easily. No matter what you do, even if it's someone who's been here all summer like me, there's some species that just aren't going to fly on. Some of them prefer the flowers, some of them are just very fluttery and don't want to seem to sit on your sponge. So sometimes you can get them, but I just want to show you that certain species don't always like the stick, and that's not about you, it's more about the species. So I'm going to try with some, and maybe they will come on today. It really depends.
Looks like Kelly got another one. I'm gonna quick show off. Which one is
that the
this,
pe-
Kelly?
Yeah, that's the white peacock.
The white peacock.
Those guys really love to sit on the ground, so they blend in really easily too because of their color. And all butterflies, when they're on the ground, that's totally fine. There's minerals in the rocks that they want to get. Sometimes that's why they land on people too. They want the salt that is in your sweat usually. So it's totally fine that they're on the ground. We just have to be careful when we're in here. So I'm going to try for this guy, and I don't think I'm going to be successful. This really small one is called an Atala, and they're very flighty.
Oh.
Yeah. Now it did land on my hand actually, funnily enough, but these guys are just very jittery, these really small ones. So often a lot of people have a hard time getting them. I'll let you guys take one last look at them because they are really pretty. And they normally sit still if you don't get too close, so they're a nice one to try to get a photo of, but they're not always the easiest to catch. I think I might walk around this way. Now over here, there are a couple swallowtails. Some of them are very, very fluttery. I've kind of got this blue guy flying all around. And often when those ones are feeding, they're really not sitting still. They just want to be moving all around. I came over here because normally I see a bunch of them over here.
There's one in the corner.
There is one in the corner here. And I know that these guys are hard to catch.
There he goes.
And it won't even sit still for me to even try to catch. And those ones are such a beautiful blue. I know so many people love to try and catch them. Again, some people are successful with that, but not always, because they really do move their wings even as they're feeding on the flowers. They really like that. I think Kelly's playing around over here still. She's still got that white peacock.
Think she's trying to drop him off?
All right, I'm going to try the flower trick. Put it on a flower to eat. Oh, that was great.
So the swallowtails tend to hang out up above too, right?
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, that's a really good point. When you're in here, definitely be looking up too, because they love to hang out on the ceiling, and especially if you're coming in the afternoon, maybe after 3 p.m. or something like that, it starts to get a little shady in here, and they're just trying to clasp onto the ceiling to get that last bit of sun before the sun starts to set. I think Kelly's got another Buckeye. Those ones are really fun.
What about the Julia butterflies, those nice orange ones? Are they pretty timid and flighty as well?
Yeah, I would say that the Julias, I think I see a couple over here. I know sometimes it's hard with the camera to get them, but we've got this guy right here just kind of flying away right away.
And there's one in the bowl.
These ones are kind of hit or miss. I might be able to get this guy to come on, but I know that they can be a little fluttery. Yeah, exactly. That guy kind of showed exactly what I wanted to show, is that they're very, very fluttery, the Julias. Yeah, and some of them, like this one, are really going to stay on the entire 20 minutes you're in here. So I know some people are really happy to just keep the one butterfly the whole time. Some want to set them down and then try for a different butterfly. Some people even are able to get 2 on at a time, depending on the angle that you kind of have your stick at when you're looking for butterflies.
But it's a good point. You know, due to our limited capacity, we've had to set a 20-minute time limit in the butterfly house. So make sure that you're getting here at the start of your time slot so that you have that full 20 minutes to be able to enjoy in the house. And, you know, like Lily said, don't spend the whole time feeding because there's so much else to be able to see. We've got the Chrysalises that are starting to have the butterflies emerging. There's even going to be some caterpillars and eggs eventually to explore. So make sure that you're taking the time to see everything throughout your 20 minutes. And if you need to reserve a time slot, you can check out our website at gbbg.org or sign up on our Facebook page, and you can also get some alerts that way too.
Okay. Gonna do one final shot of these cool swallowtails.
Yeah, those guys are showing exactly what I was talking about. Even as they're feeding, they really don't want to sit still.
Yeah. Okay.